Welcome, 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 welcome. Yes, it's part 2. Aha, you weren't expecting that now, were you? No, I bet you weren't. So, what have we got? What have we got? What have we got? What have we got? Yeah, I took a break. I remember now. Let's get it back on screen, and after a bit of struggle, I've now got it all sorted out. And it all works. So, project up and running. I'm happy with it now. I've now got some real names to call things like Amber TCP server, TCP message, and TCP users. What does all that mean, Blades? Hey, Blades, what you done? What you done? I've renamed them, that's all. Right, so I've got TCP server. So we've got server, message, and users. Let's just have a little look at that. Where did I put it? Here we go. Yeah, this thing. Server, message, and users. How is this going to happen? It's going to happen like this here, this mess. So let's try and clean up the mess that I've made. My other half is always on about the mess I make. No, we got cleaners nowadays. That's perfectly alright. Alright, have I got a pen? I have. I've got a pen and it's in red. No, I don't think so. Let's have it in blue. Blue's nice. Blue's nice. So we have a server object. Okay, let's go for a pen then. Yeah, that looks okay. So we've got our server. Now remember, this is an object. All of these things are objects. We've got our users. In other words, the people who are plugging in to our server. And we also have messages, or to deal with a message. So there are 3 parts to this. Now, as we saw, the server has 4 points on it. So really what is happening is we have got signals and slots. So this here, this or these parts here are on different threads. So yeah, we'll just call this threads, or thread in this case. Now, I was looking into it because I was a bit worried about this thread business. And what we've got now is our signals and our slots going through here, like this. There we go. So we've got 1 going up, and we've got 3 coming down. And we're going to have some into the message as well. I'm not quite sure how that bit's going to work just yet, but we're going to get there. So this is how it's going to be working. The message... How's the message going to work? Have I got any notes on this? Alright. It's going to be the socket. So this is all going to be derived from the socket, the QTcp socket. So that has its own signals and slots mechanism. And it's going to interact with what? It's gonna have to interact with our users somehow. Well, the user just stores that. So this is users. This is like a queue map. So this is just going to be a map for storage. So we can save the sockets to a user, obviously. That's why we're using a map. We need a socket and a message or QTcp socket or something. We need to store this up into a map so it'll work properly because it's objects. Right. How else can we do this? Is there another way of doing this? Let's just have a quick look through, see what else we've got here on the notes. Alright, so the actual users part. We'll look for errors, yeah. All it's going to do is set this socket up. So it's going to take the socket and how can I put it? So the user, the actual storage here is on a different thread. We know that already. But it's going to have to keep tabs. So these two are linked. And it's going to be linked by disconnect and error. Is that the only two that I had for it? I'm trying to remember now. Yeah. Disconnect and error. So the user gets set up. This creates a socket. Socket creation is there. Right. That is by socket creation, linked by socket creation. And it's also going to have well, no, that's a socket that has it. So, well, yeah. Are we going to hold on a minute? Am I going to do what I think I'm not going? No, I'm not. It's got to receive the socket. The socket has to be passed over because of this thread business. All right. This is so hard to explain. And then we will have to listen out for a couple of things. It's more of a join than a direction, I think. This is more of a link. But we'll see how that works. I think it's only one direction. because we need to set up a socket under the accept signal. So when the server accepts the connection, it will come over to here where we will create a new socket and set up its connections. Then we are going to move the connections over to the thread. We're going to pull it over to this thread. And then we can set it in motion. Once it is done, we can emit that the socket connected. Who collects the connected? Did I put it on here? I've got disconnected and error, but I haven't got the connected. Who gets the connected? Who receives it? That goes somewhere. Let's see if I can find out where. Okay. Who takes on the connected? No, it's not coming through here. Okay. I would say it's in here. Yes, it is. It goes through to itself. Who's receiving it? Ah, right, I see. It's an auto thingy. Yeah. Once it gets connected, it's in a connected state, which means we can use the ready read. And that will then pick up which socket. Right. And then we can handle it how we wish. Under ready read. Is ready read? I think it is. Yes, it's a public slot, isn't it? Yes, it is. Under TC. Basically, the QTcp socket takes over. So all we're really doing at this point is storing it. Yeah, ready. There it is. TCP connection has it here connected. And ready read. And the users have the rest. Got it. So we can keep it open for as long as we want. Yeah, that'll do. So here, it will go into a state of reading. So this is the thing that's going to do or accepts how can you put it? This is the part that's going to be accepting the messages and dealing with them. QTcp socket message, yes. So yeah, that's correctly named then. Linked by socket, and it's got those two. Error. So it is that way. Okay, lovely. How do I do this? Oh right, it's by pressure, is it? Weird. It's weird how rubber works on the screen. Never done this before, have I? Right, get back to the pen. Pen. Thank you. So yeah, we have error. And disconnect. And this is going around a loop. So that goes around in a loop receiving messages. And maybe sending. No, because I haven't got to that stage yet. Ah, there might be something else here. That depends on the application though. So we're going to have to make a lot of this virtual. In fact, virtually all of it virtual. Oh, that's amazing. So that's going to receive and send. So that's how it's working. And when it's disconnected, or if there's an error, or if we're one of this lot, we're going to probably have a quit as well. Comes through here, and that will be your shutdown. Marker. And this is your setup connections. Right. Yeah, I think we've nearly got it on that. It's still messy. Very messy. But it's now working. I can work with that a bit better now. Yeah. Okay, I'm happy. So, naming conventions I've done. I've also... Let's just keep that on my screen anyway. I've also been through to tools, options, and under C++, file naming, right down at the bottom, that was checked. So lowercase file names, I've just clicked off. Alright, so I went through and changed all my file names. It just makes it easier to read. So, why not? I didn't change main though, did I? Never mind. Good, eh? So I've also implemented a creation. I've decided that the project is now created, and after a little bit of a chat with the boss, it's a go ahead on development. Because I'm no longer doing a chat server, I am doing the foundations for a server. Any server, a server of any type. It could be a web server. It could be anything, absolutely anything. You could run a web server off this. You can run any standard TCP where you want a handshake and you need a good return on your sends. If you imagine it like the postal service, this is like recorded delivery, so it records that it's delivered, that kind of thing. A lot more goes on in TCP than in UDP, which is just a user datagram, just gets put in the post box and forgotten about. If it arrives, it arrives. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Who cares? We'll be using that one on the game side when transferring data between a server and a running game. It doesn't matter if something gets lost because time goes on and a new update is already on its way, so it's pointless. Right, where are we? This is main. So we had got to the end, or what I think looks like a lot of warnings and QD bugs. We just got the users together. Alright, so I think we should do the user next because that will make more sense then. That drawing that I made will hopefully then make more sense. So if we go down to users here, let's see what we're going to use. What shall we have? We're probably going to end with a QD bug, aren't we? Okay. I'm up and game for this. Why not? So I know I'm going to be using a thread. Let's do QThread. What else are we going to be using? The socket. QTcpServer socket, please. With the thread, I am going to have to use something silly. I know this about threading already. I've dealt with it before. And it's Q read write lock. There is a locker there, but I just want the lock for just one little bit anyway. You'll see. And what else will we need? The map to store things in. It's how all this goes together that's a real fun job. I will put debug in. Because I'm going to put a load of debug messages in, aren't I? Right, so I've already done a bit. We put start, quit and accept in so that it would, well, build. Let's add a load more, because we are going to need it, aren't we? Do I need a destructor? I doubt it. Okay. I am going to have... Let's see, this is to be inherited, isn't it? It's all going... Well, the users is going to be inherited. The TCP socket message business. Well, you might... yeah, you're going to receive stuff from that as well. We'll see how that fits in. Start, quit, accept, yeah. We are piping a message through here. Oh, this is going to go in the background, isn't it? Right, I've got it now. Right, I think I've got it. Let me just have a look at my notes. No, it's... yeah. Okay. This is just going to run in the background. Nobody's going to bother about this. This isn't going to be inherited as such, I doubt. No, it's not. This just gets left lying around, keeping track of the users. Doesn't really matter. It's used by the server, but that's all. So we're going to inherit the server, the Ambertcp server, for the chat server, and we are going to inherit the messages for the chat server. So this is going to need a load of stuff. And the users, we're just going to leave that to itself, really. Just to keep, you know, records in the background. It's not going to have to do overly much, really. We will need protected stuff, though. Public signals, public slots. We're going to need a protected area. Protected. And that will need protected slots as well. Wow, this is complicated. Okay, we'll have those. So public protected. Doubt we'll need anything private. Probably not. Right, so what do I want under protected? We'll have our map. Q map. No, it acts like a normal map, an std : map. So we're going to need a QTcp socket. One of them. That's going to be a pointer. And we'll also need a user. And I'd call that TCP users. And I've pluralized it. Or in TCP users. Hold on a minute. It's going to record itself. It isn't a message, is it? It's a messenger going in a loop. It's not going to read right, this, is it? Hate things that don't read right. That's all. And the whole thing put together is our connections. When you put those two together, you get connections. Plural. Well, isn't it? It's users. Is it? Which one is this? Is it? Messenger. I have to decide now before it all goes to pot. So, do the renames now. So it'll be ENGER. You can see how much trouble I have with building these things, because I'm used to being able to get all the information together and then build it, rather than trying to build it as I get the information together. So that's now correct. Did I change it to Pragma? I did. Good. Thank God for that. Alright, that's okay there. Save. There's nothing else there. There we go. It's hating every minute of this. Why? MESSENGER, yeah, okay. Alright, let's just let it settle down a second or two and check for errors. Okay, errors gone. None. Name change successful. And that changes. That changes. And that changes. Alright, do I bother with the other part? Maybe you should. I think I should for consistency. It's only fair, isn't it? Where's the other one? Don't tell me I've lost it somewhere. Oh, it's a signal. Doesn't matter. Okay. Save. Done. Save. You can see this is like fluid programming. It's just going backwards and forwards at the moment. Right, yeah, I am happy because this goes through to users. Yeah. Oh, this is starting to look better already. Alright, save all, please. There was a debris there. What's that for? Oh, that's okay. Knock at the door. There we go. Pop you in there. And there we go. done. Yes, we're done. Right, that's a name change for you. It's why I'm doing it now. I want to get all my namings right, all my bits and pieces right at this point in time. I don't want to be redoing this ever. I want to write things once and then expand upon it later. Yeah, exactly. I know how this works. Right. So I've got a map which will take a TCP socket and a messenger, which will be a loop of messages and stuff. Okay. Bob's your uncle, we've got our users. That's why I've called it TCP users. Good. Is everybody in agreement now? Are we all ready for the next bit? What else we need? We need to be able to remove a socket. Yeah, just void it. Okay, my notes just went haywire. All I did was type in the letter V. Void. Weird. Remove socket. So that goes in with add socket, obviously. QTcp socket, and it's going to be star socket. I can't see any reason why we can't do that. That's good news. Right, so that's protected. We did want those signals for quitting and finished. We've already got them. Right, protected slots here. Okay, we'll have a disconnect. This goes to the users. This is the user. This goes to the messengers, or comes from the messenger. Right. Whether it's disconnected. So messenger disconnecting will activate that slot. And just in case, we'll have error. And that takes, oh god, QTcpServer socket. And it's socket error. We'll just call it socket error. And why not? There we go. So in case of an error, we've got somewhere to receive the error and deal with it. Got to deal with errors as well. That's a good idea. Public slots, start, quit, accept. Do I need anything else? I've got the map. Do I need QTcpServer socket within the includes? Good question. Inherited members. And QTcpServer socket, what was it? Socket error. Godfathers. It doesn't really say. It's inherits QTcpServer socket. No, so we've got it. All right, that's all I needed to know. Get me back to the edit, please. So we've got that. That is inherited by that. So it is part of QTcp socket. So we can use anything that's in there as well as anything in there. That's how inheritance works, as we know, because we're using it. Dope. Oh, I got any coffee left? No, going cold. Never mind. Always goes cold. Alright, we haven't got all of this stuff, have we? Oh, wait a minute. If we've got the map, we can take a virtual int count. Fantastic. I'm just wondering why that's there. Oh, I've changed that. Darn it. Tools. Oh no, it doesn't matter. It don't matter. Just means it'll change the spacing in the next class that I do. Fine. I've changed all the spacings. Ah, dear. So I've got the public slots and the constructor. Well, we'll borrow you. Excellent, you put it in the right place. Right, okay, fine. Signals we don't do. Public slots we've got. Protected. Well, that's the space really, isn't it? We have this under protected. So let's borrow you. I'm glad nobody said this was going to be easy. This is protected. Okay, what's next? Thank you for that. So there we go. So that's protected. And protected slots. We'll have you two at the bottom. And this is protected slots. We don't need to do the signals because they just get emitted. Da 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 da. And it's looking good now. Just need the errors. Wow, there's not really that much to it. When you look at it from this point of view, there's not really that much to it. Because I don't think I'm really going to be putting much anywhere. Let's find out. Okay, we'll start by QDebugging this. It's empty. Yeah, I dropped it down to 2. Do I like it on 2? Yeah, I don't care. Empty. Q. Debug. This. TCP connections. Okay. I'll just put constructed. How did I handle the other one? I think that's a better way of doing this. Try and make things... Right, this won't be constructed on a thread, this will just be constructed out there. Okay. That's okay then. Alright, so just constructed. There we go. That'll do. Doesn't have to be lots and lots. There we go. Now, what else we got here? Count. This is what I needed that doobie, that strange thing for. Actually, I'm going to change this back as well. Tools, options, text editor. I'll get it as 4. I should actually do that. I don't think it'll display. GNU built-in, yeah. Okay. That's it. Okay, apply. Lovely. Yeah, we don't even see 80 on this screen. I didn't think we did somehow. Wonder if we see 40. Just out of interest, because you get a line. Code style, blah 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 blah. Code model, yeah. Class. Where did it come in then? Text editor. Try 40. Just out of interest. Oh wow. That's quite small. I mean, that's how big my TV screen used to be across, width-wise. Now it's 50 inches. Wow. And that was a 15-inch monitor. Holy gobbledygooks. I'd say 60 for my naming conventions. Interesting. So I do use the full 80 now. That used to be an Apple monitor to get 80. Interesting. Very interesting stuff. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's just literally right on the edge there. Wow. Let's do this count anyway. Yeah, tabs are back. Right, count. How are we going to do a count? We can return a count of how many people are online or using the server. Now that is useful information, but to do it you have to lock your server to be able to do it, only for a millisecond. So it's Q, read, write, lock. It's that one there, is it? There we go. Read, write, lock. We'll just call it lock. May as well. So lock. What we have to do is lock for read. There we go. So what that does is it stops anybody else accessing the thread or whatever thread we're on at that time. And it just stops it, and then we can get an int value equal to, and it's going to be m_users, and it's going to be dot count. There we go. And that's all we have to do. And of course then we just lock dot unlock, obviously. And just carry on our sweet little way. There you go. And that's how you do it. Yeah, simple. There's nothing complicated in doing threads, as long as you remember not to have collisions, as it were. That's all you've got to be aware of. It's like using traffic lights to stop cars running into each other. It's a damn good idea. Alright, so let's try and do something different now. I've got a few here lit up. Let's do remove sockets, easy enough, isn't it? How can we do a remove socket? We can do it by asking if it exists. Have they passed us a socket? Yes. It's pretty obvious, but it might not happen. Remember, this can be used by anybody, so you know this is actually going into a library. It's not going to be kept as a program like this. So we now have our that, and we can also, if not, I hate doing nots all the time, but that's a convention, so that's what I'm going to do. Musers does not contain. I know why. Yeah, contains. Yeah, socket. So if it doesn't, hey ho, return. So we don't need to do anything. Why waste our time doing an operation if it doesn't exist? So if socket is open, always check, because it could be closed. We just haven't got it out of our list yet. QDebug, yeah. Better do a debug here. Don't like that. This. This is remove socket, isn't it? Okay. So that would be a socket open. Closing. Tempting to close, because that's what we need to do. Can't delete it until we've closed it. Do everything in the right order and we'll be alright. Socket. And put that in the debug information as well, please. Thank you. Now to close a socket, you fire off a disconnect. Not disconnected, but disconnect. That will do the message disconnected if it works. And then socket close. There we go. That's that done. Right. So now we've got a closed socket. What can we do with it? Yeah. And it's going to be this. Now we are going to be deleting socket. Yes, there is a lot of QD bugging going on here. There's no way to know otherwise. Yeah, deleting the socket, do it the same way. Put the socket on the end. It'll sort it out, little QD bug, and give us some information there. M_users. Remove socket. God, isn't it hard to use QMap? Now you know why I'm using it. And of course the socket is a pointer. And we haven't attached it to anything that I know of. Have we? Oh no, we haven't even made one yet. I'm deleting it and I haven't even made one. Oh gosh. I do always start at the wrong end. But at the moment I don't think we've got it attached to anything, so we'll just stick a delete later. What happens there is, as soon as all the conditions of the socket not being in use have been ticked off, and it definitely isn't in use, it will get deleted. At the system's next, in other programming languages, garbage collection stage. So delete later is like a garbage collector, maybe. It's only a couple of milliseconds and it just gets deleted. Gets deleted at the end of the next CPU cycle when it's not in use. Or it cannot be used, should I say. Right. So I've freed up the memory properly. Now, just for information, just for me, I'm going to do an extra QD bug here. And it's going to be this. I'm always going to put this in. I want to find out more information about things happening. Client count. Yeah. Client / users count equals whatever. And it's m_users TCP users users right. Don't like this. Oh right, we're outside the thread now, aren't we? Well, we're still inside the thread. It'll go there. It should be this count. But it hasn't got anything to lock. Right, okay. There's nothing to lock because it's not being used. COUNT. That's fine then. I can do that without crashing the threads. No, I'll do actually. I don't want to do anything else. We've deleted it now. Remove socket. Deletes the socket. Lovely. What should we do next? Well, if I'm going to do things backwards, we might as well do the disconnected. Am I going to do much in here? Nope. Right. If not Alright, we're on TCP connection inside TCP users. Do we have sender? S-E-N. Yes, we do. Sender signal index. Don't need to know that. It's a queue object. Sender. Okay. We can do that. Return. So in other words, if somebody tries to disconnect somebody else, it ain't gonna work. That stops that one. Yeah, you'd be surprised what they get up to on the internet. Full of that kind of thing. I'm only doing the basics. I'm not going to do security or anything. Because this is an open program and everybody can read it, so there's no point in doing security on it. It's like, do your own. Disconnecting. Yeah, that'll do it, won't it? Disconnecting socket. Sender. We'll use sender. Whoever sent it in. Which is quite funny, because if the sender tries to do it to somebody else, I could have actually reversed that, couldn't I? Instead of returning, I could have asked it to disconnect the sender. That could have been funny. No. Don't have thoughts like that on trying to reverse on people what they do to others. That's nasty. QTcp, what do we got? We have a socket. And we'll need to reference it. Socket. And that's going to equal a static, yeah, I know, cast, always comes into it. QTcp socket, QTcp socket, star, pointer. We're going to cast it out of, or bring it out of the sender, because we're allowed to. That's okay. Alright, so there we go. If it's not a socket and something else is messing us about, then return. If it's an error, by the way, that static cast will return a null pointer, and a null pointer is a not. So that logic actually works, funnily enough, and it reads right. Remove. I've just done the wrong one. Remove socket. There it is. And then we just put in a socket. And that will do all the signals and stuff for us that we need to happen. So remove sockets here. So we're just going to go ba-dink from the slot to the remove socket. And that will then delete it properly on a disconnect. That's nice. Are we going to deal with errors? Yeah. Let's at least do a simple error. What do we got? We've got a socket error. Okay. Again, if not sender, then return. It doesn't belong to them, this error. So check if it belongs to the sender. Let's just debug it. And it's going to be this. Error and socket. And that's going to be sender. Yeah, we can do that. Oh no, I left a space now. Oh no, it won't leave one though. Error equals. Got my spacing right now. And socket error. There we go, that'll do lovely. That's a nice debug. We can do that cast again, can't we? We can drag the socket out. If there's an error on the socket, it's useless to us anyway, isn't it? I'm just thinking I can throw this out into a different. I'm copying and pasting. You should never copy and paste. And I don't want to copy and paste. Private. And it's going to be void. And what can we call it? Socket removal. Have we got remove socket? Yes, we have. Why can't we just use that? I'm getting multiple removals here. It might not be added to the map. Drop socket is why. I don't know if this will work or not, but hey ho, I'm going to put it in anyway. Private enter. Told you. Just making things up as I go along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, and this is now private. And all we're going to do is that. And we just drop socket. Yep. And again here. Drop socket. Okay, that's better. That's better than repeating, doing a copy and paste, and never do the copy and paste. Because if you look at it now, these are only 2 lines. So they both do the same thing, but they're just coming in differently from different outputs, and these can be changed, but you still want to drop the socket at the end of each. But this part here, where I put the QDebug, that can change enormously how you handle all these kind of things. For starters, there's no logging going on there. Disconnected, we don't care about. That will probably stay the same. Or just log something like a disconnection somehow, or a reconnection, or whatever. Depends who's responsible for what, whether you should go back to reconnecting or not. On which side this is being used, on the client side, or whether it's being used on the server side. So yeah, these functions can be used on client side as well. To a point, I suppose. Can't see why not. I can use them as I see fit. That's if they're fit for use. What should we do now? What else have we got here? Oh, we've got to quit there. We haven't done one of those. That's an ender. That ends things. Right, this is slightly different. Because on quit we have to do an emit, if you remember. Start and quit. So these are like the intro and the outro of this TCP users thing. So if not sender, we're getting used to that bit now, I hope. Then return. I mean, it's pretty obvious. It can be a standard check. Now, it's going to be... Right. This is an all quit. Okay. QDebug. Find out what we're doing. We'll find out what it's doing. This. TCP users. How do we do it? Do we use a quit on this? Not really. I would say shutting down. Yeah. I'll try that, because if I'm right, that's what this is going to do, I hope. I hope it's a quit slot that does this. If it isn't, I'm going to look pretty damn stupid, aren't I? So we're going to use this to shut down. So this is the slot here. This one here that goes back to down to the shutdown. So a message comes in. It's not disconnect or error, but it's actually the quit, and it'll come through here. It'll be the message to say shut down or whatever. Like a queue, me sending a queue to make it shut down. That could be interesting, see if I can do it. It is going to be interesting, because if I've got this right, I think they'll all fit together just like a jigsaw puzzle. So 4. So 4 each and every QTcp socket. This is where we start making it look easy. Star socket and comma inside of our m_users dot, what do they call it? qmap. God, this thing can do a lot of things. What's that? Oh, that's the iterator. Right, so we're using key values. Okay, so K, E, Y. Now, if you use the top one, it's going to need 2 things. If I use that one, then it only needs the TCP side of thing, which is a messenger, which is got the socket. Ding! We'll have that one. There we go. Instant decision. If we're wrong, we'll know about it. To make sure I am right, let's QDebug it. Nothing in here says that I'm right about any of this, you know. Could be totally way off track and having to do a lot more writing of code. Closing socket. And we'll get something here. Socket, maybe. That might help. And what do we need to do? Well, we can use the remove socket function we've already written, can't we? Yeah. Remove socket. Socket. There we go. I'll do it. So I've already written the function, so I may as well use it. Hey ho. QDebug. Emit finished. 1 second. Yeah, I'm gonna track this. Okay, so it's shut down in progress. Oh no, it isn't. I've got it wrong, haven't I? Server will now shut down. That's what it should say. And this should say Amberserver shut down in progress. Full stop. Just one will do. That makes more sense to me. Reads better. And all I've got to do now is finish this off. So that's emit, finish. There we go. Emit finished should get picked up here. So the users emit finished. So users emit finished. And that goes to AmberTCPServer complete. Have a look down here. AmberTCPServer complete. Warning, exiting complete as there was no thread. Yeah, okay. Deleting connections. Closing the thread. And that's it. That's just on a thread though. Okay. Does the server shut down at this point? And we have to decide where the server shuts down. And it's the only slot we've got. Incoming exit, listen, close. Void close. Void close, 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 close. Closing the server. Emit finished. Which goes to TCP users quit. Which goes to emit finished. Yes, closing. Yeah. That's where it closes. Okay. It follows through. So it says closing the server. Yeah. For now, oh no. Alright, we'll just exit. I think that's where I want to put my exit. At the end of complete. Is that a good place to put it? I think it is. Where's it going to go from there? Are we just going to hang, or? I'll put exit there for now. Why not? Where were we? Users. That was it. Oh god, I'm hopeless. I really am. Right, so we've just been through that lot. Okay. Let's try a start. What we missed here now? Okay, drop socket I've added. Error. Disconnected. Yeah. Blah de blah de blah. Remove socket. Yes, we've got that. We haven't got accept. Okay, this is going to be a ooky good one. Right, let's see if we can get this right. Accepting a connection. Alright. And we've got a handle and a messenger, which is one of these TCP messages here. Lovely. Okay, we're going to put in a Q debug. I'll put in 1, 2, 3. Accepting user. Usually I'll put arrows on either side of that one. And we'll just indent it by... oh no, that's not how you indent. That's how you indent. That's it. Lovely. So we'll debug there. We're going to need a socket. We're always needing sockets by the looks of this. Star socket. Equals a new. Because we're handling it all, there's no this in there, is there? Yeah, we better had. Otherwise we don't get the senders. Good. So if we delete TCP users, we delete all the sockets. Got to have that in mind, peeps. I don't think that we... where did we put them? Alright, so it's there. We didn't put this in. Good. So it's a floating. That's why we need to keep this separate, because if this gets bowled over, then TCP users can continue without it. So the server can recover from a crash or an attack through this side and not bring down the users, but I'm not sure what will happen with that thread there. Whether that has to be... I think it just puts the thread on hold and can be recovered. I'd be interested to try and program that, actually. That'd be an interesting one. See whether it could be done. If your server falls over, can you recover your users' connections instantly or not? Yeah, things like that should be able to be done in this day and age where computers are good enough to do it, so think about it. You know, have these thoughts. If... let's get on with this. It's going to be a not, isn't it? I can always tell. Not socket. And we're going to set a socket descriptor, that one. And yeah, it's a bool. It does say a bool, so yeah, we can use it. We'll have you. Set socket descriptor, and that's where we use our handle. That's what it takes. Okay. So if that does not happen, okay, we get a warning. I'm going to have to use a warning on. I don't like using warnings. I prefer them to debugs, but they don't switch off. Q warnings stay. That's the difference. Error, bool faults. could not accept connection. Duff information or whatever given. It doesn't really matter. And we'll just put handle at the end of that. Let's see what information we get from that. Can't see why not. Okay. And that will be Messenger. We don't have one. No, it's Messenger. It's just Messenger. What was that just flashed on my screen? I hate it when they do that. What on earth are they doing? Another stream summary. Okay, that's from this morning's. Okay. Strange computer world I live in, where I get messages from Twitch saying, hey, you were on this morning. I'm glad you uploaded it to YouTube. Strange people. I mean, if they saved my broadcasts for more than 2 weeks, then yeah, I'd be happy with this platform, but unfortunately they don't. Messenger. And I can't spell Messenger again. Thank God for the tab button. We'll delete it anyway. Or delete later when it's finished with whatever it's doing, and we can return. Right. Otherwise, we have a socket which has been set. Now we're getting interesting. So we'll connect it up. So connect the socket to signals and slots. We'll come back to that in a sec. And after doing that, it's exactly the same as what we did in here. So it's what we did here was we sent the users to a different thread. Well, in this instance, lost it now. Where are you? We are sending the socket to a different thread. No, we're not. We're pulling it, should I say. So, yeah, we are on a different thread, should I say. So we have to pull it across. If I'm right, we are in users, aren't we? Yeah. So here we are in users. Server said, hey, here's your new Dubry. What do we do with it? We have to pull it across into the thread. So otherwise, we can't use it. And remember, when you instantiate your socket, it has to be... It can only live in one thread. So we need it over here, as it were. So Messenger. Come here. Messenger. How are we going to do this now? Oh, it doesn't really matter. We can just move it to, can't we? Move to thread. And it's going to be... Can't just put this, can I? Q thread. And that's going to be : current thread. There we go. We can do it that way. Qt is so easy to use, it's untrue. If only C++ was like this all the time. It isn't, not unless you use Qt. Now, we've brought it over to this thread. If you remember the warning that it gives under QSocket, it can only live on the thread that it's created on. So now we can put messenger, and now we can set the socket, and that goes to socket. Have we got a socket ready for it? Yeah, socket we just made. Lovely. That should be correct. Did I not read it correctly? It's a QInt pointer descriptor. Really? Since when? That's interesting. Wait a minute, I don't think we've actually done it. It's just an object, isn't it? Whoops. Okay, set socket. I've already done that. So we set the socket descriptor, blah de blah de blah. We have to do the disconnect and the error connections. Je ne comprends pas. What do I want? I want to be able to set a socket, please. Where's it gone? Here it is. Can I set a socket, please? Oh, see also socket type. Great. Oh, right. Yeah. Well, that's good. QAbstract socket. Alright, let's go to there then. Which does both, by the way. Inherited by. So, QTcp socket is just a thin layer over QAbstract socket class, it looks like. Great. So how do I set a socket? Public functions. Where's set? There is no set socket. Okay, see on the QTcpServer then, because we haven't got that included in this lot. Connect to host, bind, abort. Gosh. You've got me on this one. I don't even know where it's coming from. Set socket descriptor. Right, read write, yeah. Returns accepted valid. Socket descriptor otherwise returns false. The socket is opened in the mode specified by open mode, which defaults to read write, and enters the socket state specified by the socket state, which is connected. Correct. That is also the default. It's a virtual function, which you can override, of course. Read and write buffers are cleared, discarding any pending data. It is not possible to initialize two abstract sockets with the same native socket descriptor. Where are we getting set socket from then? Where are we getting that from? Set socket, no documentation available. And yet you've just given it us. I do hate it when it does this to me. But it's all for a good reason. I don't want index, please. I want a search. And it's set socket. Blah blah. Didn't match anything. Blah blah. Alright. Have you got the rest of the QAbstract socket in here somewhere? Just have a quick look through. You see, this holds all the information for things like the ports and the IP addresses and everything for the connection itself. And this, in our case, is an incoming connection. Alright, I can't really see too much in here. Yeah. Yeah. Different states it's in. Set socket option. Receiving multi blah 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 blah. Yeah, connected. QAbstract socket option. All we want to do is be able to set the socket. Let me try it. Right, have I got the right things first of all? I have the messenger with the handle. And we are getting that from here somewhere. I'm not sure whether we have got it from here or not. This is where the music should be done. Ooh, get some jiggy music. Where do I set this messenger up? Here it is. Accept. Dun 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 dun. Message. Not messenger. Doesn't matter as long as it's the same variable. I did miss it though. Bad boy. I do like it to match up. So checking the new connection gives us the descriptor. Accept descriptor messenger. Da 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 da. Emit. Blah de blah messenger. Messenger move to thread. Thread. And we have to pull it over from the other side as well. Why are we moving it twice? Oh god, it gets its own thread. Oh shit. Bugger. Alright, Messenger gets its own, yeah. Great, so that's on its own thread. And we want to pull it through to here. Because it's coming in through accept here. Accepting user, connect, yeah, connect the sockets, yeah. And then it's just set socket, and I'm damn sure it was just socket. How can I have got that so wrong? I wonder if he doesn't know what the messenger is. It's just an object. Sorry, Muppet, but you're killing that leg now. That leg's gone dead. It's alright, my Muppet. It's only 4:15 and it's going dark. I might have to stop and use more thought. This is actually more complicated than I gave it credit for. To me it's just socket. But that's wrong. Well, we can see that's wrong. But why? Messenger, move to thread, this current thread. So we put it onto a thread, a holding thread, and then we move it into here. We then want to set the socket here. Where else can we set the socket? This is how we normally do things. I'm sure of that. Or am I? And there we go. My first stumping. This may be wrong. Let me put the connections in. Muppet. Come on, out of the way. So I'm just going to leave it wrong until I get time to look at it properly. So let's connect. We'll use the new way of doing things. And we'll see if this helps. Socket. And it's going to be QTcp socket. So it's got to come from QTcp socket set socket. We'll see. We'll see. And we want disconnected. Disconnected. That's the one there. And that's going to this, comma, and it's going to be, oh god. TCP users. Yeah. And we should have a disconnected as well. There it is. They're right at the bottom. Correct. I don't put the brackets on this. So why is it putting the brackets on? Dumbo machine. And that's it. So this isn't working either. I didn't think it would do. I think I know why now. Call to error. Call to non-static member function without an object argument. Helps if you put the address of it in. Thank you. At least I can work that bit out. Now we come to the hello. What is the world coming to? We are coming to the connect of ages because we haven't got any of it. How is QTcp socket error done? It comes from QAbstract socket. QAbstract socket is inherited by QTcp socket. Let's try and connect it up. So we are going to connect. And we are going to connect the socket. And this is going to be funny. To, and according to me, it should be QTcp. TCP socket. Colon, colon, and socket error. Ah, that's not a function. That's not even a signal. That's socket access error. Oh, right, I see. Different error types. It's that one that we want, though. Yep, that one. Oh dear, expected brackets. Anyway, continue the line. And we're going to be putting that one to this. And TCP users. Colon, and that's just going to go for to errors, wasn't it? Socket errors, I called it. Obviously not. Error. But it's got a thingy in it. Yeah, that can receive. There's too much information here about this one. So that is wrong, because I don't think it is socket error that we want. Oh no, we want to receive the whole of it. That is an enum, which describes the socket errors that can occur. So it comes to us as an enum. If you notice, none of these have anything in them. This one does. So we need to take that there and make it into that there. Can't I just use the abstract socket? Or won't that work? Because we want the QAbstract socket error. Which is a QTcp error. You're gonna have to go Go in brackets then. Because we're going to have to bring you across. We're going to have to pull it across. From... Well, we need it to be a QTcp socket star. That's the first thing. So... what's the second thing? It's QAbstract socket. Socket error. Why can't I just go for QAbstract socket error? Expected. Oh, function style cast or type construction. Oh God. Welcome to C++. You can't do what I'm doing. Alright. I'm going to relook at this as well. I have a horrible thought that we're going to have to construct something like static cast. You're going to love this. Static cast takes two brackets, and then inside of there we will have to put whatever we want to get out, which was a QTcp. So and QTcp socket colon socket error, because what's it's going to emit, or what we are going to be collecting, is the error. That'll actually be sent in as an enum. Right. Okay, so to get to there, we need something in here. And we want it to be, well, the primary is QTcp socket. And all we want is a pointer. That's your primary. Your secondary is QAbstract socket. And that's the thing that is holding the socket error. And if we static cast that lot, will that work? I need me and signs and pointers in the right place. Should do. Ah, wait a minute, it's a void. And I knew there was something wrong with it. It doesn't give a return value, so it's a void. There we go. It's now starting to be happy with me. My God, what a line. So that instruction there should work. Cut. And paste. Initialize a parameter of type Q int pointing along. Alright, it's just that socket. Yeah, this one worked now. So that static cast worked. Yeah. So it's static cast void QTcp socket star, or the address of the QTcp socket that's we're looking for the message from. And we want the abstract socket error layer, and we would like it to be returned to us from this place here. Wow, that's awesome. I think I'll go and end my life. No, that was a bit much, wasn't it? Did I put this on the end of it? Didn't I? It doesn't have a descriptor here, does it? I'm going to have to find out where that's coming from, that set socket. Got a damn good idea. I mean, it can only be coming from... Ah, wait a minute. TCP users, is that what we're doing? Yes, it is. We've only got start to do as well. Okay. Right, so after we have managed to move it to the thread and set the socket, I don't like this. Because it's telling me it should be handle. Okay. So what's this saying it wants? A handle? Comma? Nothing else? Right, you can have a handle then. Don't understand that. Why would you set socket descriptor handle and then set socket handle? I think I know what I've done wrong. Yeah, that's okay. That's probably right. Users. What we are all here for. Users. Dot insert. I think the command is. Is it insert? Yes, for a map. A Q map, it's insert. And we are going to insert the socket. And the other bit. Message. Messenger. That's what I did, yeah. That's what I put in here, isn't it? TCP messenger. TCP socket, yes. Got it right. My God. Can't be doing with this. I'm getting things right at long last. So we'll just insert that. Okay. Once we've inserted it, we can debug. Q debug. We haven't started this, remember? So this socket is not connected yet. So until we connect it, the thread's safe to use. So I can do this After the next line, I can't do that. Do this QDebug. Could not accept connection. Accepting user. Total users equals, and we can do it at this point because it's not in action. So it's M users. Yeah, users, and it's dot count. There we go. I'll do it nicely. So I'm allowed to do to that point, and after this we just emit. And then we can't do that line because it will be connected. Socket. Connected, please. And take that out. There's a signal. Lovely. That does it. That's that. Right. I think we're down to the last one now. Ooh. Although I'm going to be checking. Muppet, can you get out of the way, please? Check how this is working. Okay. I'll pop that in there and I will shove it to there, and I can see a red marker. What's wrong now? Error, expected close for function style cast. Alright, I've got a close missing now, have I? Open, close, open, close. Open, close, comma. I don't see it. I hate static casts like this. Open angled brackets void. No, this is the correct casting style. Unless you want a static cast within a static cast. And it's still got the error here. Interesting. I bet it's because it's the way I've done it. I want it in the style of what I've done it. That's an error, isn't it? Yeah. Everything lights up. Hey. God damn it. Yeah, down here I said error, did I? Yeah, error there. Yeah. So we want it in the style of error, the QTcp socket error, right? Oh dear. Right, so everything looks correct. I don't like that. There's something wrong there, but hey ho, error. Error handling is never made easy by anybody, so I shall not ask. Missed something. Start. Have we missed anything else? Come on, I want to finish this before tomorrow. Start. We've done quit, haven't we? Yeah. Right, for start, I'm not going to bother. We'll just do a QDebug. and it's going to be something along the lines of this. I think we're just going to get an address for the word this. I've got a feeling it is an address, isn't it? Yeah. Alright, so that's going to be what are we doing here? We are doing users, aren't we? Users, well, clients / users started on and I'm just going to pop in a Q thread. I think, yeah, we'll do it, Q thread. And I will take current thread ID I took last time, so I'm going to take the same again there. See what it comes up with on that. Interesting to see, if nothing else. Alrighty. Wow. I think we've got everything useful. I've got that one line I don't like. And a connect I don't like. That's ridiculous. Yeah. Alright, this area here is bleh, awful. Everything between line 73 and line 83 is absolutely awful. I think we might have to do it. Qt had a utility for nicer signal overload resolution. Well, I didn't know that. There you go, I've just learnt something. And I'm really sorry I didn't see that before. Oh, yeah, we're okay with time. So that was 10 minutes ago. God, 5 minutes ago. You posted that. Do apologise. I was focusing so hard on that. Yeah. I will look into that because that is just ridiculous. That just goes beyond the pale, and no programmer should be subjected to that line. So, this is information I didn't know about. Okay. Sorry about the bright white. So it's a utility. Signal overload. Resolution. Thank you for that. That is really appreciated and will help me a lot. I don't have much in my research notes. In fact, I've got no research notes. All I've got to go on at the moment is this which I doodled out last night. That's what I'm going off. Yeah. So I'm not expecting this to work, but I'm expecting to be close enough for it to, well, hopefully build. I mean, that'll be a success if I can get it to do that. What happened to my pointer? Okay. Is my pointer stuck? Oh, pen. Sorry, it's stuck on the wrong surface. Get off the surface. What are you doing? What are you doing? Muppet. Alright. Hopefully that should have stopped the pen. Yeah, that did not stop the pen. Good. So, thank you for that. That is really, you got a link to it. Oh, darn. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about that. I'm a researcher. First of all, a developer. Second, I'll find it. I have no worries about that. Yeah, build. Compile, please. Oh my god. It built. Well, knock me over, a rolled up copy of Exchange and Mart. That was unexpected. Can't run it. Because I haven't got the messengers set up. This is old code. Although some of this can be redone. This is all old code. So, tomorrow I will do the messenger. I won't shoot them. I will hopefully get some kind of messenger going. Put it into a loop for receiving and sending data. Guessing we're going to have to use QByteArray. I'm not going to be using QThreadPool. Not at all. I've decided I'm going to stick with QThread. So we'll keep that down. Socket, array, yeah. That should do that. Anything else we're going to need in there? For messenger. How's about we throw it all away? All we need in here is QObject. Oh, I suppose I better have the debug. And socket. Let's not worry about those. Let's start with that tomorrow and work our way from there. That will make a lot of things a lot easier. That's still going to work there. And it's nice to actually get feedback whilst I'm programming. And you actually caught me out there because I'm so used to just focusing down on whatever I'm doing that it's silly. I never look up from, you know, what's blinking away on the screen here. So it's very nice. Thank you. Very much appreciated. Very much appreciated indeed. Yeah, okay. I'm happy that this, what we've got here is a load of rubbish. But it's got a few functions in it which I might be able to just wipe out and do different ones. QByteArray comes for free. Doubt it does. But anyway, we're going to find out. Depends which buffer type I want to use as well. Nice. That's worked out well today. So we've actually got 2 of the bits done. We now have AmberTCPServer, and we also have TCP users to some kind of condition that might work. I'm not going to say TCP users will work. AmberTCPServer I know is working and functional. because it's so damn simple, it's untrue. The users, it's only a storage class, but it's a complex one with signals and slots. And Messenger is tomorrow, so that will be our TCP socket receiving messages or receiving data and deciding what to do with it. Whether it gets sent back out to everybody else or whether we do that somewhere else is a different matter. I don't know whether to put it in here or not. Action to take. Right. We could queue that up or give it out as a queue for the server to deal with. Because remember, this is on a completely different thread at this point. As you can see by the way everything went pear-shaped. Whoa, don't do that. So, yeah, I think we're nearly there. I think I've got nearly all of the signals and the slots that I could find in the paperwork together. I'm just going to have to query one thought that I've had that hasn't worked. Okay, and look that up. So I'm going to leave myself here on this bit. Lovely. Just pop you down to red. No, oh, it's amber. Amber will do. It's a nice colour for Amberskies. There we go. Cue that music. I'm going to put that to one side. I'm going to do that next, actually. Oh my god, what a day. That has been awesome. Absolutely awesome. That was part 2, by the way. There was one this morning if you want to see it. 1 second. Let's do that. Awesome day. Awesome day. I'd like to thank you all. And I'm really not going to try and say your name. Anybody who's watching, just have a look in the chat. That's his name. Yeah. Yeah. I could probably pronounce it if I took about 10 years to work it out, because I'm dyslexic. But in the meantime, I'm back tomorrow. I will be streaming in the afternoon for definite at 2 PM my time, which is British winter time at the moment. Or UTC, I think it's usually called. As you can see by my clock. It's a random string I can't pronounce. Beautiful, well done, mate. Person after my own heart. You've put me off completely. Yeah, we're going to try and get Messenger up and running, and then the users up and running, and then I'm going to keep on working on it tonight, obviously, but only on the writing side. I don't do any programming offline. All the programming is done online, and you can find it at YouTube under Amberskies. You'll know it's me, because it'll have like a floaty planet and all this orangey stuff going around it. It can only be me that does things like that. In the meantime, I'd like to say farewell and a big thank you to you all. Take care, and above all, have fun.